Good afternoon. This is Glenna Walsh. My name is Diane Susie, and I'm volunteering with Children's Health Defense PA. We are having a Spring Holistic Expo coming up on April 2nd. So welcome, Glenna.
Hi, Diane. Thank you so much. I'm so excited.
Oh, I'm so glad you decided to do this. Glenna, now, as I understand it, you will be speaking and you will have a table. You'll be one of the vendors at the expo.
I will. So this Saturday, the massage studio will have a table. Believe we're booth 12, but I should have double checked that. We're space 12 at the expo in Plymouth meeting, and I will be speaking at 10:45 on the benefits of salt therapy.
Salt therapy. I actually had an opportunity to come to the massage studio and enjoy that salt therapy room. It was wonderful. Loved it.
Oh, I'm so glad. What did you like about it?
I really felt like when I first walked in, I wasn't really sure because it was the first time I'd ever done that. And for anybody who's new to the interviews that I've been doing, I'm sort of new to the holistic approach. So when I walked into the room, I was like, oh my gosh, this room is so pretty, relaxing. But by the time I left, I literally felt like I had been at the beach.
Exactly.
It was a wonderful experience. So anyway, so you'll be speaking and you'll have a table. Did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got involved in the holistic approach, and maybe a little bit about your what you'll be speaking about?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm at the massage studio. I'm not a massage therapist because that's everyone's first question, but the massage studio offers a number of holistic modalities for just healing and well-being and self-care. So I am the in-house health coach at the massage studio, which means I also love to dwell in the salt room. That's my office, I call it. I bring, my work in there as much as possible because it is so relaxing.
Yeah.
In all of those ways we can incorporate just self-care and calm and peace into our day. I'm going to jump on them, right? That's part of that holistic life, is not compartmentalizing our work and our self-care and all of those things. And we'll be talking about halo therapy because this is this awesome offering that we have that people aren't familiar with. So it's great because you can be a newcomer and you can be seasoned in holistic, and most people have not tried halo therapy. And I love
know what that is. So please explain just a little bit.
Yes. Oh, this is so fun. So salt therapy and halo therapy, I'm going to use them interchangeably because they're the same word.
Okay.
So halo is the Greek word for salt, and that's where we get halo therapy from. But it's amazing how important that is to health, because halo also is where we get the word for health.
Very
So
interesting.
it takes a little trip, right? So we have halo meaning salt, and that because of how people traded and interacted in like olden Greek times, it becomes a Celtic word, hall, and hall becomes a German word, hail, and hail becomes an English word, health. So we
That
have
was
this
quite an
transformation.
education. I had no idea.
So that is salt therapy and how it's so integral into our well-being. And most people have never tried halo therapy in like a salt cabin or a salt cave, even though that's an awesome and you've seen just relaxing and unique way of stepping out of our normal modalities into this cool thing, right? But have you ever done like a saltwater gargle?
I have.
Salt therapy.
Really? Huh.
Mm-hmm.
See, now I've only used it in like, let's say a dental approach, or if I've had a sore throat or something like that. Is that
Yeah,
what you mean?
absolutely. So anytime we use something for healing, that's a therapy.
Okay.
So anytime you use salt for healing, that's salt therapy.
Hmm.
But the beautiful part about holistic is that all those things are connected, because what we do to take care of our mouth, that like dental approach, and what we do for our throat, that's our immune system. This is our body's first interaction with the outside world coming in, right? This is
Right.
how things come into our mouth. When you're a little baby, you put everything in your mouth because that's how you interact with the
Right.
world. So
Yep.
taking care of your mouth is taking care of your whole body because it becomes your first defense in your immune system.
Got it. Got
Mhm.
it. A lot of people use that in terms of, well, in another approach, in a different topic. There's such a difference between ingestion of
Mhm.
certain things versus other modalities of getting things into the body. The digestive
Mhm.
system is really important, but you're speaking to your halo salt therapy. I guess, explain this to me. So if I'm inhaling this and I'm breathing this through my mouth, then would that be considered like internal? Is that a silly question? It could be. I'm new.
Yeah, no, that's not. These are not. All of these questions are good questions. I love silly questions because silly and smart go hand in hand as far as I'm concerned. So it it is going into your body. It's not ingesting because it's going through. So your all of this is very interconnected. So when you're inhaling it, it's going into your respiratory system.
Got
It's
it.
going through your sinuses and your lungs through your respiratory system. And that all of these things are connected. I don't remember, when you're in fifth grade and you're looking at the charts of, your skeletal system and your muscular system and your nervous system, we kind of see them as separate things, but that's the root of holistic is it's all connected. So, your lungs play as much a part of your immune system as your gut, as your skin, as your mouth, as all of these. They're all super, super duper connected. But the respirating is really great, right? Because you've got salt and water in like that day at the beach. When you have salt and water anywhere, you have healing. That's how we come into this world is that amniotic fluid that our
Right.
mothers carry us in the womb,
Sure.
right? That's salt water. It's salt and water and minerals.
Again, did not know
Yeah.
that.
So those are healing. And then when you have that breath, when you respirate, that's a telltale sign of life. The first thing you do when you come out of the womb is
Sure.
breathe. So when you incorporate the salt and the moisture and the breath all together sitting in that salt cabin, you're getting the trifecta of healing benefits from salt, right?
Right. That makes perfect sense.
It's super relaxing. And I love to talk about the sciencey side of it. So I'm going to be talking more about, negative ions and free radicals and all these things that we hear about, but we kind of see as labels, right?
Right.
And we're going to dive into how they all work together. So that's going to be the basis of my talks. I'm not going to say any more about
Yeah,
negative
we want to
ions.
it sounds very interesting, very informative. Things we can all use, like I would love to I hope I get a chance to hear you speak and stop by the table. Now at the table, what will you have things related to other things at the massage studio as well as the halo and salt therapies?
So we're going to try and incorporate as much salt as possible, right? Because we use things like Epsom salts. And Epsom salts is a funny word because it's not actually salt, it's magnesium.
Oh, again, did not know.
It's
So,
so fun. Well, here's the thing, Diane. I got jumped into halotherapy and I got like a whole book on water and salt. So I'm not sure if you can see it's backwards,
yeah,
isn't it? But it's called Water and Salt, the Essence of Life. And this thing does a deep dive. So there is so much to know. And we take all of these things, salt and water, as like very much for granted.
sure.
But this stuff is very rich. Salt is also, we're going to do all the linguistics today. It's the basis of the word salary.
Okay.
That's how precious it is that salt is like equated to how we value people's time, our salaries. So
Sure.
we take it for granted, but we use it in a lot of things. So we'll use those magnesium salts, right, in our therapies. We have like magsuthium. So we'll have some massage and some topical modalities at the table. We'll have salt lamps, so you can just bring some salt therapy home with you. And we'll talk more about what salt lamps actually do
Oh,
to
that'll be
benefit
good
your
because I
home.
get that question a lot. So that'll be good.
That goes back to those negative ions.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
So we'll have that, but we also are like offering a ton of things. So just a lot of stuff will be teas and herbs and other natural things that you can find in your home, in your garden, in your community, right? Things that are
Sure.
accessible because that's kind of the basis of health.
Yes,
I see this very often where it's like our health is one thing and our self-care is the other, and like self-care falls under health.
sure.
But I see it the other way around, that yourself, right, is the
Right.
whole package, and then health is a part of that because there's the mental, the physical, all of that. So we're gonna have like a line of teas and fun things you can use to just relax because that's the first thing we all need when we're
Right.
dealing with our health.
And I would have to agree with your statement. Like, and I think that for me as a newcomer, and I say newcomer, but like I've been around the holistic community in enough that I understand some stuff, but at this expo I'm looking forward to because for me it's really going to connect things. But you spoke of the teas, as I understand it. You can have Zia's teas.
Yes, yes, we're gonna have ZSTs from Christina Stafford. So she's at the massage studio doing these awesome community events to open up. And then so like right now there's a workshop going on for teen art therapy, which is so cool.
Very
You know,
cool.
just using that expression and there's so many benefits to that because mental health is such a crucial part of
Sure.
our well-being, especially for kids right now. And that's such a beautiful part of the expo is that it is supporting the children's
Right.
health defense. And there's so many fronts on that
Agreed.
topic,
You
right?
can come
So
at from so many different angles for that. I mean, even like you said, with the children and then, the self-care, it's encompassing the whole family and trying to instill a more natural approach to things, I think, if I understand everything correctly.
yeah, no, I mean, I think you have it. And you've repeated, that you're a newcomer.
Yeah.
Just that's such an interesting idea to me, 'cause I'm
Yeah.
like, and I get that. Because we all like when the first time you hear about something like how salt can heal you, or how herbs don't just season your food, or
Right.
even as basic as how important your diet is to your health. You're like, oh my gosh, where has this been? This is not what they taught me in school, right? This is not what I hear about taking care of myself. But I think that's kind of a false setup. And as a health coach, which is what I'm doing at the massage studio, my favorite thing is empowering people to realize that you already know and you already have all of the pieces. One, your body is just so wise
Yeah.
and there's so much wisdom, and you are self healing.
Mhm.
And all of that connects, and you have a sense of what's good for you and not, and what you should be doing and what you shouldn't. And to just empower people to like come at it like a newcomer,
Right.
explore and play and discover like all of the good things we have at our disposal. And I'm excited to just walk around the vendors. Like I can talk about salt until the cows come home, but there's going to be a whole talk on pickling. I can't wait.
Oh, Pam, that's Pam, or excuse me, Lynn Landis. She is just amazing. So we actually did get a chance to interview her, and
Sweet.
she's just a wealth of information. So I totally hear you in that respect of just being able to stop in at all the vendor booths and hear about all these things and maybe take home some samples and reading material that will help us when we leave.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm excited about that too. And, as I said, I'll be speaking, I'm going to have a workshop, but I sort of wish I wasn't just because I
I know.
really want to go and visit and learn, but it is what it is.
I was talking to Christina about that because she'll be there, with her teas and the other events. And we have so many things that people can sign up for and come see that was happening at the studio. And she was like, I want to go listen to your talk. I was like, I know, but you hear me talk about salt all the time. That is the number one as a vendor. You're like, I want to be a newcomer. I want to be participating because it's so
Right.
fun to have all
It's
this at
so
your fingertips.
exciting. All that stuff coming in and figuring out how to put that in place at your home. But to
Mhm.
your last statement, you were talking about some of the other things that the massage studio offers. Did you want to talk a little bit about that? And where are you located again? Did you say King of Prussia?
So the massage studio is in King of Prussia. So it's 225 Henderson Road. So somewhere, I'm a Philly girl. I drive down 76 every day to get there. So I'm like, it is somewhere between Gulf Road and the rest of King of Prussia. That's what I got
Got
for
it.
you.
Got it. I'm directionally challenged myself. So,
Yeah,
well,
GPS is a wonderful thing in this
yes, it
regard.
is.
So massage is so crucial for health. I think a lot of the time we think about massage as a luxury, and that's just the same disservice we get all the time, that health is like in the hands of experts and not in your hands. Like you are the expert. This is your body and you've been living in it for however many years you've been alive. You know, these are the same people that tell us that self-care and massage and these things, these are all luxuries. They are crucial for your immune system. They're crucial for your mental well-being. It's just great to have that hands-on, tactile, oxytocin releasing experience that so few of us get, especially these days.
True.
So we've like massage, if it was just massage, that would be enough as far as I'm concerned. But I'm so
Yeah.
glad there's so many other amazing offerings. Like there's obviously skincare and facials and things that you can just really dive in and get some of that pampering and get some of that relaxing that we all need, right? But
Sure. Yeah.
there's the salt cabin, which is awesome because it's an enclosed
Mhm.
space. So you can sit in that cabin for 15 minutes and get full healing benefits for like asthma and respiratory disorders. And I have a telltale sign when I'm feeling ill. I have a spot on the side of my
Uh-huh.
nose. So, and this is any imbalance in my life, it will just flare up. And as soon as that's like my time to like get in the salt cabin, like, okay, I
Out of
have to
there.
go in there because within a day, it's going to be gone. And that's not just because of a topical treatment, like it's an inside out approach because
Right.
I'm breathing it in and soaking it in through my skin. So it's awesome. And then we do classes and workshops and all kinds of fun events that kind of bring the community. We have all these private experiences, but some of those
Mhm.
communal experiences like workshops for kids and for families. And we are going to do a budgeting class.
I heard about that. That's something everyone can use, right?
Seriously, this financial wellness, this is one of those things that people tie so closely to your sense of self-worth.
Sure.
You know, like we do that so often. It's just like, oh, well, obviously we should be looking at our finances as something that feeds us and something that nourishes us and supports us and not something that creates anxiety. So I'm super excited. That's one of the things I'll be able to go to.
Exactly. And I was just going to speak to that. I mean, seriously, we know that one of the biggest stressors in our lives are our finances. So if we
Mhm.
have an opportunity to learn how to be better at that, that is, like you said, going to make us feel better, and help us in our whole life to decrease that stress.
Yeah, absolutely. It's that holistic approach, you know, and to also just make that shift to see that all of these things in your life, you're not just constantly working and
Sure.
serving something else. These things are meant to serve you and to feed you. So and that's, this is a finance expert who has worked with people for her entire career, and she's making this information that
Mhm.
seems so clandestine, right? When I look up finances, I'm like, this is a different language, you know, and she's making this accessible to just
Right.
everyday people. Like, this is great because everyone deserves financial freedom. This is for the 99%, right? This is
Right.
for
I love it.
everybody.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a jam-packed weekend because that's the day after the expo.
Oh boy, you
Gonna
guys are
be,
going to be busy.
we're gonna have a fun time. It's gonna be a party.
I
And then we're all
agree.
gonna take a nap, right?
Right. And we're all going to need some serious naps, and that'll be some good self-care too. So there's that.
Absolutely. Sleep is good. I'm a big fan of sleep. Yeah.
And
That's
now
actually
what
the thing
time?
I talk to most people about with health coaching is like, let's get our rest on.
It's
Yeah.
so funny. I just was having a conversation. I have a 20-year-old.
Okay.
He's my middle guy. And he was saying to me, he's taking, I don't want to get too far off track, but he's taken an interest in, he's tall, he's slim, he's 6'2". So for him, he's a little self-conscious about that. So he's really taken an interest in, and I didn't know about this, so he explained it to me. You'll probably understand it. But like putting on some weight and,
Okay.
muscle. So he was talking to me about you know, the clean way to do that and the dirty way to do that. And I'm just
Okay.
constantly learning from him about, a clean way to feed yourself, obviously. And then there are these dirty ways to pack on these pounds, but how they don't serve us.
Hmm.
So again, like I agree with you, I guess. That's really, what I mean. I just think that's great. It sounds like a very educational place. What time do you speak?
So I'll be speaking at 10:45.
10:45?
And I know there's two conference rooms. I'm in the second one.
Okay, great.
So yeah,
Awesome.
I'll be there
So
10:45. I'll be at the booth all day. And then I'll be offering for people who want to sign up, we're doing consultations for health
the event?
coaching. So, well, you can sign up at the event and then we'll
Oh,
schedule
okay.
them so you can come into the studio and check them out. But we're doing, this is just a like full free hour to talk about your health and how to support your needs. Because I think a lot of people, as awesome as these days are, and as much as there is to explore
Sure.
in the world of holistic wellness, right, and
Yeah,
integrated wellness, there's so much information and we all need that space for transformation, right? We all need a chance to
right.
like, how do we take this and digest it and actually use it? Which, to your point, that's part of, clean bulking,
Right,
right? That's also what
exactly.
we do when we sleep. So it's all
Right.
very
Oh,
connected.
actually, and I'm so sorry, I didn't even finish that. That's what he was like, but I'm only getting 8 hours of sleep a night. I'm like, Marcus, that's like the optimal amount of sleep to be getting in a night. So I'm sorry, I just wanted to go back because I didn't make the point. Like he's talking about all these things, and then he's like, but I'm only getting 8 hours of sleep. And I'm thinking to myself, I need a little more sleep than what I'm getting. So again, to go back, I agree with
Mhm.
you. Like sleep is really important. Um, you know, so when people sign up for
Yeah.
your workshop or your consultation, they'll then go to the studio.
Yeah, they'll come hang out at the studio. You can see everything in person. You can try out the salt
I
room.
was just going to say, you have to take them to the salt room.
That's
That'll
more
be
for
great.
me, but they can certainly come into the salt room. I love
Right,
that room.
right.
And I love Marcus's point about sleeping and what you're just exploring, which is I have to, when I work with my male clients, I have to bring it to weightlifting for them.
Yeah.
Because that's how guys will get, when I tell them they have to sleep, they're like, no, I have to hustle. And I'm like, but your hustle doesn't count unless you're sleeping.
Right.
But when I explain it, like, when you lift heavy, where does the muscle build? Or like when you rest, like,
there you go.
yeah,
It's so interesting that you bring up men. And well, I did to both of us, because I really feel like in another interview I did, we talked about how sometimes we wait, we just keep that hustle going, right? We just keep hustling, we keep working and doing the things that we feel like we have to do every day. And for women, as a woman, I'm sure you understand, like it just never ends. But men come from a different perspective. So for example, my husband, I have to tell him like, enough, you're sick. You need to go and talk to someone and find out what's going on, because they'll wait until they hit the floor. So do you have I'm just curious, do you have men that are coming to the studio?
Oh my goodness. Yeah. Coming to the studio. It's a great thing for sports therapy. And that sports massage is huge. So if you want to get the full benefit of that muscle you're building, you need someone to work those muscles. And it's hard, it's impossible to tickle yourself,
right?
Because your body anticipates it. Massage is not a far jump from that. You anticipate it. So you can use foam rollers and they're great. We have all kinds of equipment that the massage therapist can walk you through with that, expert understanding.
Sure.
But having that stretch and being able to go to someone and being like, these are my goals, this is what I want to do, or this is what I'm experiencing, this is where the pain or the tightness is, and they can work it out for you. I think that's one of the few times that guys do get, what you would call appropriate, socially acceptable self-care. I was actually talking to a client and I was explaining, like, we need to do some more self-care for guys. And he was like, oh, and you could see him recoil because he had this preconceived notion that self-care is like bubble baths and manicures.
Right.
Like, on the one hand, like, you might enjoy bubble baths and manicures. I'm just saying they're awesome.
Yeah. Yes, they are.
But on the other, self-care is not limited to our preconceived notions.
Right.
And that's something that's really fun to work with, like with my clients, with the people I work with for health coaching. It's great to see in the studio people kind of breaking out and really engaging in a bunch of different modalities, right? Instead of the, do it all yourself. That I think we all, men and women, do experience all the time. We're just like, no, I should be doing this. I should be taking this on. I should be fixing this. This is a group effort. Rising tides raise all ships. We all need support. And there's nothing wrong with asking for that. When I talk about strength, that is strength as far as I'm concerned.
Agreed.
And it really brings me back to salt all the time, because I'm waiting for that, but I heard salt is bad for you. In this, for all the newcomers, there's all these seasoned people in the holistic world who are like, yes, I've been using Celtic sea salt in my food for years. And I'm like, come on.
That's so great. It's true. You hear that all the time. But if I'm understanding you correctly, we're talking about different types of salt here. Or no, are we not?
So it is. So the funny salt is, found in the ground. It's a mineral. And it's got all of these healing properties and all of these great benefits. One of its properties that makes it so beneficial, like when you're sitting in the salt cabin, you're getting this absorbent antimicrobial effect. So it's not just soaking in and giving you the benefits, it's drawing toxins out of you. It's drawing infection and bacteria out of you, which is great. Given what's been going on for the past 3 years, you've had any kind of respiratory ailment, they maybe consider salt therapy. I don't know. But that can also swing the other way when people are mining this in this big industrial way and keeping it in warehouses and processing it in factories to make it more stable, for a shelf. It's going to absorb everything coming out of that factory.
Interesting.
So if you're keeping salt in these giant warehouses and you're not treating it, these things are beautiful. These things are gifts that come from nature, right? These things are made to heal. And if we're not treating them that way, it's going to fight back. And it's absorbing all of these toxins and all of these chemicals and all these things that we don't need in our system. And then that's getting sprinkled into our food.
Probably not a good thing.
Probably not. See, not a newcomer, you're putting it together. So it's not so much different types of salt as how has your salt been handled.
Got it. That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. Okay, well, I don't want to take up too much of your time
Yes,
or give away
we've
too much
had so
of your
much fun.
thought. Thank you so much. I really, really do appreciate it. You have your website up. If
Yes.
is there a contact number that you'd like to release or tell people about where they can reach you, or is what you need right on your screen already?
Well, you can always go to massagestudioKOP.com.
Okay.
If you want to go online and book consultations or book services, you're more than welcome. But if you want to call and learn more, it's 610. I have had to practice that, Diane. I have been a 215 girl my whole life. It is 610-354-0138. And on the website are all the ways to contact me directly and then contact anyone to work, like hook you up with the healing that you need.
That sounds great. I really look forward to your talk and to stopping by your table. Gonna have to get me some of those Zia teas. I've seen them. They
Yes,
look
get a
amazing.
sample.
Yes, they look great. So, and I really am looking forward to your talk. Might have to get, I'm a woman in a house with 4 men. So I'm gonna have to get them in there into that salt room and get them rejuvenating and taking care of themselves in some of the ways that you've just described.
As you noticed, outside of the salt room is where the foam rollers and the
Yeah,
straps and the massage cranes and all of the canes and all of that, just like, okay, we're going to balance this pretty aesthetic room with all the tools you need,
right.
for
Right.
self-care. Let's do this.
Let's get them there. I look forward to
Absolutely.
seeing you, and I want to thank you for your time. Thank you so much. It's been really a lot of fun and very informative.
Thank you. This has been such a great opportunity, and I can't wait to see you on Saturday.
Me too. I look forward to seeing you Saturday. You have a nice afternoon, Sunday. Get some self-care in there.
Absolutely. Fight the scaries. Bye, Diane.
Bye.